Well, what's up, folks? It's Steve Holmes. We're back. We're back for another stream here live from Los Angeles from the drum room, where we're going to play some drums. We're going to talk drums. And it's going to be fun. This is the weekend. This is our kind of therapy where we play the drums and we talk about drums, and it helps us, you know, with our week of real life and struggles that we all know. And this is where we kind of, you know, do our little therapy thing. So post those questions, post those comments. It's all about the chatting here, really, more than the drumming these days. The last stream we did was super fun. We had a pretty good week, actually. Last week was productive. And so I haven't played drums since last week, and it's a little cold in here, and so I have a feeling it's going to be rusty and sloppy and mistakes and all that stuff, but that's how we do it here. We just warts and all. So we have to turn off the speakers, actually. This is my little studio setup here, so we're going to turn off our speakers before we start playing. And yeah, I usually end up starting these things like with a sweatshirt or something on, and I end up trying to roll up the sleeves, and they come down, and it's a whole thing. You drummers know what I'm talking about. Let's see, Mr. Conan Bin. Big respect from Armenia. Oh, okay, nice, Mr. Conan Bin. Thank you from Armenia. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Before we start drumming, I have something kind of fun that I thought would be neat. I got a new stick bag because my stick bag is totally falling apart here. It's a good stick bag, but the one of the straps broke, and so it's not like it's not hanging from the floor-tom correctly. So we ordered a new one that arrived yesterday. So I guess this is kind of our first unboxing, if you will, except instead of unboxing, it's more of a unwrapping. This is the ProMark stick bag that looked good to me, so I thought we would try it out here today. So we're gonna take it out and see what's what. It looked like it was, you know, sturdy construction, and the straps worked, which was a plus for me. Oh, I see. These straps are kind of elastic, it looks like here, which is interesting. There's one. So let's unzip this thing. Okay, so the handles they have a cool like little pseudo leather thing for making it comfy to hold. Let's unzip this thing and see what's what. All right, pretty sleek, you know. I like that the big pockets they're not too loose, you know what I mean. It'll keep the sticks and the brushes and whatever else like nice and kind of tight against the back instead of kind of like flopping all over, which the other one was doing. This is the Transport Deluxe stick bag, it says. So yeah, these are the two straps. So let's put stuff in here. Let's see what's what. I've got all my got my Vader 5Bs. I've got several pairs of brushes, which I was messing around with the other day, trying to see if I can still play brushes. We're gonna put all the sticks on the left side, and everything else on the right side. I've got some cool old multi-rods here. These things are super cool. Some duct tape on the end to keep the plastic from flailing off, but these are great. Some cool mallets. And lots of brushes, like I said. So let's put the brushes like at the bottom here. Maybe like so. Just kind of getting my bearings with the new bag, okay? Just getting the bearings with the new bag. Kind of a klutz when it comes to this stuff, so. Let's see. how it goes. Okay, there we go. Ta-da! I'm gonna leave the tag on because I think it's funny to leave tags on things, to be honest. Okay, see you later, old stick bag. Let's hang this thing up on the legs, which I think there and here. Boom! I don't know if you can see that. I'll get out of the way. Look at that. Yeah, might be a little close to the leg. Easy enough to grab sticks when I drop them. Lord knows sticks will be dropped. So you got to get the sticks out of the block. Because knowing me, I'll drop one and then I'll end up just grabbing a pair. And that won't do. Okay, so we did it. New stick bag. I should probably use a different pair of sticks, but man, I don't know. I like sticking with the sticks that have momentum, you know? I don't know if folks are like that. These are Vader 5Bs. Love my Vaders. Love, love, love. So yeah, we got the stick bag thing done last week. For those that weren't here, we experimented with stacking some different cymbals for a new stack. And we arrived at this combination, which I'm pretty happy with, actually. And we put these on top. I call these the shaky shells. This is my professional name for these, shaky shells. And we ended up going with a trash former on top, a trash former, Zildjian trash former on top, and a hi-hat on the bottom, actually. So I'm looking forward to playing with it today, because I've only played with it once before. And it's always super fun to put new stuff on your kit and see what happens, you know, see what ideas kind of transpire as a result of that, see what kind of different grooves we can play, etc., etc. So, welcome. This is it. This is what we're doing. This is the thing. What else do we got? Oh, dude, Lavish D is here. Normalized Audio, the guys, the folks, I should say. The YouTube crew. Normalized Audio. You're in the big money now, yeah. Let's see, William. I've been using the Zildjian stick bag for a long time. Yeah, the one that I had was Zildjian, but one of the straps broke. So hopefully Zildjian doesn't evict me as a Zildjian artist for saying that. Love their cymbals. Let's see, I love your playing, and how do you flow effortlessly around the drum sets as Star Child? Do you think ahead about every move? That's a loaded question, Star Child. Maybe we'll talk about that after I do a little bit of playing. I don't know how much playing I'm going to do. To be honest, I have a little bit of a headache, but I didn't want that to stop me from streaming. Let's see, can you solo with the multi-rods? It's hard to do doubles. Interesting, I can mess around with the multi-rods and see what's what. Had the same leather stick bag for a long time. Nice, 45 years, multi-rods, face. Oh my God, and I finally made it. Oh, Dave Kerr is excited to be here for the for the live stream. It's pretty crazy that we can do this, actually. Fleetwood Mac, Normalized Audio. Is there a Fleetwood Mac song where he plays multi-rods? I'm not sure. Afraid Sticks says finesse about the drummer. I like to see how far. Yeah, I like to kind of see how far I can take them too. Yeah, the fans. We need Matthias here. Bradley live stream says love catching the streams. Happy to have you, Bradley. And I posted on the YouTube. If you have a page, you could post like on your community thing. It's basically like a pseudo Facebook. And so I posted about 45 minutes ago, a half hour ago. Once I knew I was going to stream, I tried to, let folks know. And, hey, I'm going to stream in a bit. So I don't know if anyone saw that or if that was helpful at all. I live here with my wife. And so, I often don't know, like, when I'm going to have a spare, like, 90 minutes to do this. So, cheers. So, yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, with multi-rods and, not so much brushes, but it's like, you end up just kind of just playing the way that you normally play, with multi-rods versus sticks, it's more for like, if there's a gig that's quiet, and you need to kind of play at a lower volume, but while still playing, you know, as opposed to like, you know, playing normally with brushes, does sound a certain way. But brushes, you should just play like, you know, play the way that brushes were intended. I think everything sounds cooler when you play brushes the way that they're supposed to be played, as opposed to just playing normally. I mean, it depends, obviously, but I remember hearing that when Dave Grohl did the Nirvana Unplugged back in the day, I think he said someone told him about these, like Steve Ferroni, I want to say, and they just saved his butt on there. He said, I always thought it was cool that he played like quiet on there. You know, some of the rock and roll bands that did Unplugged, you know, the drummer just kind of played normal volume-ish, you know, but Dave really made an effort to kind of play quiet and let the song kind of breathe, which I think an event like that has, you know, the opportunity for that, and he certainly did it. So yeah, multi-rods. Let's see, Joey says, hey Steve, I have the same Zildjian stick bag. Eventually the elastic did dry out and fall off. Yeah, I'm not going to take the time to get a stick bag, you know, repaired. I'm just going to buy a new one. But I hear you, Joey. Thank you for the tip. And I don't know, it almost makes me think that the elastic will dry out on this too, because the strings are also elastic. But I guess we'll see. Maybe they shouldn't be elastic if that's going to be a problem. Yeah, doubles, like, I mean, once you can do doubles, and like, honestly, brushes, sticks, hands, you know. Let's turn on the drum mics and see what the multi-rods sound like, okay? Yeah, I don't know. I just end up playing the same stuff I always play. It's good for warming up, though. That's for sure. That's for sure. Okay, so let's just do a little bit of normal playing here, and yeah, we'll chat. So I'm gonna get rid of the multi-rods. I think I'm gonna take off my sweatshirt. And let's turn on our cool cam switcher. That will switch cams every 20 seconds, actually. And we'll see how that works. All right. I'll be back to talk, but for now, we're just going to play. Okay, thanks for hanging out. My name is Steve Holmes. Let's not forget to turn off the laptop mic this time. All right. Well, I forgot to mention something earlier that in hindsight is kind of worth it. Hindsight is kind of worth mentioning, rather. And believe it or not, I'm wearing new shoes. And that totally changed like how my feet felt. Interestingly enough. And I can show you the shoes. I'm actually jazzed about these shoes. These are heard a lot about these shoes, and my wife and I have been kind of trying them out for a while now. But anyway, they're these Hoka shoes that have super like cushy bottoms, and they're pretty inexpensive, and I wanted to get like a different color. Normally I just get black, big surprise, but I thought I would try something with some color. And I saw these shoes sitting there on the way out at the entrance to come in here. And I was like, ooh, let's put on the new, I call them hookahs. The hookahs. And I thought maybe I regret it because I didn't like relace them. This is like how they came. And I thought maybe they'd be too tight, And my feet felt like a little more like in command, if you will. Not so much the double bass stuff. Like my double bass stuff sucks. Like I tried to turn that stuff on a little bit, but like just single foot, kind of like it felt like my foot felt powerful and heavy with these shoes. Interestingly enough, and so that totally affected what I played, which I love that kind of stuff. It's like unexpected, So new stick bag, new shoes, the energy, the mojo. It kind of helped us. What's up, folks? My name is Steve Holmes. Thanks for hanging out. We're here in Los Angeles, streaming live from the drum room. Please post feedback, post comments, post a question. If you've never posted before, log in, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Log in and post something. All right, I want to see some questions from folks that haven't posted before. All right, and if you're watching on YouTube, check out my channel, click on my name, go to my channel. I've got tons of stuff on there. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get the subscriber count up. It's climbing a little faster than normal. We're at like 23,000-ish. We need to get it. We need to get it higher. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. And if you like what you see, tell people. Email your friends. Post on Facebook, wherever you're posting these days. There's a new streaming platform called Kick, actually. That's getting a lot of buzz. It's a response to Twitch, actually, because Twitch doesn't allow streaming of gambling games, and a bunch of people that were that were streaming that stuff went to Kick and started Kick, and so now there's Kick, and so maybe I'll sign up for Kick, and the next stream we'll blast it out to Kick in addition to all these other platforms. So let's read some comments here. Let's read some internet comments. That was fun playing. I wasn't sure what was going to happen, and I think some stuff kind of happened. So thanks for hanging out. Let's catch up with some comments here. We're going back. Let's see. Starchild talked about flow effortlessly around the drums. Do you think ahead about every move? This comment was left a while ago. I just wanted to briefly touch on that. Not so much on the flow thing, but an interesting aspect of like what happens here when I'm playing, and I think this goes for a lot of musicians, but speaking only for myself, everything that you play gets reacted to. Like I play a thing, and then the next thing I play is a reaction to that thing, and then the next thing I play is a reaction to that thing. So I'm kind of like interacting with myself, if you will, in terms of what ideas I'm ping-ponging off of and stuff. And it doesn't happen all the time, but it happens lots. Sometimes I have a goal in mind that I just attack. Like, for example, today I wanted to play like faster tempo grooves because a lot of my streams, I just play like this halftime thing a lot, which is fun, but it's starting to get old. And so I tried to like, okay, let's get some up-tempo kind of grooves happening. And, you always end up falling back to your same old stuff. And that's almost inevitable. And that's, That's fine too, but I had some particular things in mind today that I wanted to try to do, and that was one of them, like up-tempo grooves, more dynamics, quiet and loud, and that kind of thing. So yeah, that kind of touches on that. Let's see, what else are folks saying? Always love catching you. Yeah, this was before I started playing. Got normalized audio says got to manage your bass drum, I guess. Hey Steve, I have the same. Okay, we talked about that. Let's see. William on YouTube says Dave truly showed his skill during the Unplugged. Yeah, agreed. We're talking about Dave Grohl and the Nirvana Unplugged. I would love to just sit down and geek out with that guy. Did you guys see that clip of Dave Grohl? He was talking to someone in the studio, and he was talking about like how Tony Thompson had inspired a lot of his drumming in Nirvana. Tony Thompson from, really early stuff, with a lot of the flam stuff, blah, ooh, blah, ooh, blah, ooh, like that stuff. I love Tony Thompson, man. Tony Thompson was a huge inspiration in the 80s, Power Station, and a lot of that stuff he did. He was the guy, him and Omar Hakim are on so many recordings back then, and I thought it was Tony on the David Bowie stuff for a while, but then I learned it was Omar, and as soon as I learned that, I remember clicking like, of course, the grooves on Let's Dance and China Girl and all that stuff. I mean, that I could just perfectly picture Omar playing that stuff. That's like his style, man. That amazing pocket that literally defined a generation. Crazy. Let's see. New lick with the left hand doubles on the high tom. Yeah, exploring different things. I tried to like whatever my friggin' Songo bull. Let's see, clapped out motor. Let's see, my neighbors. All right, reading comments here. Let's see. Hi, I've got this playing on the stereo very loudly. Oh man, yeah, I am that neighbor. Man, I'm pretty lucky with the neighbors, you guys. My neighbors they're not very close. And I've talked to all of them, and they're all like, yeah, we invite us over. We'll watch you play. And so pretty lucky in that regard. Will Plout. Will, welcome back with the ghoooooosh. Yes, I'm trying to use the ghoosh sparingly these days, Will, because I'm starting to abuse it. For those that don't know, the ghoosh is like the floor tom and the China cymbal together. This is not a China cymbal, it's an Azuka, but floor tom and cymbal together is ghoosh. So Will's a fan of the ghoosh, as am I. Ghoosh. Dave says, nothing more boring than watching this. Man, Dave, thanks for the feedback. Almost as boring as watching people misspell than. Let's see, KKK, if you're looking to learn popular musical instruments, would you recommend MI as a school? Says KKK, not sure how I feel about your name. I don't know enough about MI and its current state to recommend it, actually. Dave Kerr with the donation. Really appreciate it. Anyone else on YouTube or anyone else interested in, I think it's on YouTube, there's like a super, it's called a super button, a smiley face with a dollar sign or something. If anyone wants to support the channel, that would be fantastic. We're trying to get some new overheads. I've decided is the next thing. Gonna get a couple of, I think Audix, some nice overheads, and then use my current overhead as, keep using it as a room mic. But I need to get, like, cymbals is too large of a part of my playing for me to only have one overhead. For those that don't know, I only have one overhead, and I'm using my other overhead as a room mic, right? You can kind of see, can you see right there is the other overhead. I'm using it as a room mic, and then the other, this guy is the overhead, because I wanted to get a room mic going, and I didn't have an extra mic, and so I was like, all right, I'm going to split up my overheads, and so I did. But now I'm kind of at the point where it's like, all right, I need a couple of good overheads and a room mic. Sorry, wife text takes priority, right? So yeah, that's what we want to do. We want to get some new overheads. That's the next thing. So any support for the channel would be lovely. Let's see, I guess left leg is moving. Nice flow. Thank you very much. Thanks for the positive comments. Let's see, Dave says, ever play 16th notes with the right hand accents every 4 notes rather than 2. Maybe I'm wrong, but most Gen X guys usually accent 8s when playing 16-note grooves. You know what? It's so interesting that you say that, Dave. I swear to God, on a recent stream, somebody asked about right-handed 16s, and I did the same explanation that I always do, where we talked about the Moeller technique and stuff. And in that explanation, I talked about doing groups of 2 and 3 and 4, but then I realized that I never do groups of 4. I always do groups of 2. So instead of saying 4, I should have said just 2 groups of 2. And here you are with this comment. And that is pretty interesting. I mean, you know, it's not like one thing is better than the other. I mean, I'm so used to playing groups of 2 Moeller. The groups of 4 actually feels a little, you know, unnatural, to be honest. I'd rather do 2, you know? And granted, it sounds completely different, right? That sounds totally different. And it might be interesting to take a groove and practice groups of 4 versus groups of 2 and see, you know, how that affects the sound of the groove and the feel of it, you know? But it's interesting that you mention that. Let's see some more compliments. Normalized audio. Thank you very much. Rizman says, hey, Steve, what's up, Riz? Let's see. Thumbs up. Grohl was talking. Oh, Dave Grohl. He was talking to Farrell, I think. Yes, I believe that's true. That was the clip I was talking about. Let's see. Romulos from Poland says, Poland, hey. I assume that means you're in Poland. Hello to Poland. Thanks for hanging out. JM says, what's your approach to 7? That's a great question. I love playing in 7. Maybe we'll talk about that. Let's see. AMR says, do you like playing any Latin styles? I suck at Latin. So I can't really say. I love authentic Latin music. I love listening to it. Love. But I never took the time to study like authentic Latin grooves and get that stuff happening. My Latin stuff is just the classic jazz fusion guy trying to sound Latin. So, but you know, there's a friend of mine. His name's Andy Sinisi, who's just he's such a good drummer. He's gigs all over the place, and he's got that Latin stuff down. Andy Sinisi, and S-E-N, I think, Sinisi. I'm not sure how to spell his last name, but check him out, man, on Instagram and wherever you're following drummers, because he is just working, that guy. Let's see, 7 times in a tree. Yeah, maybe we'll revisit that. And how about some broken swing? Tom, is it you that's always asking about broken swing? There's someone else in my comments on the videos that's always asking about broken swing. Is that you? Interesting. It's an interesting thing to be so persistent about. Broken swing, you know. Let's see. Will says, curious if you have any big band experience, Steve. I'm the drummer from a university big band, and I love it so much. Matthias is here too, you guys. What's up, Matthias? Thanks for hanging out. Will, you know, I don't have a lot of experience playing big band stuff. I mean, I learned the basics of it and had a little bit of an opportunity, but obviously it's not the kind of thing where there's a lot of opportunity to play with a big band unless you really go out of your way for that stuff. But I am fascinated by that music and that drumming, and I think it's super cool that you do that. Man, so much respect for that. We talked about big band drumming a couple streams ago. There was a person from Brazil asking about that, and I just kind of ranted on things that I would work on if I was in a big band, you know, ensemble figures versus section figures, and making sure that your energy matches the band. Because that's the thing about a big band, is like you get so powerful and you don't want to be like the wimpy guy back there that's not really bringing it, you know. So I hope you're not that guy, Will. I trust that you're not. I trust that you're amazing. I hope that you play ghoosh in your big band drumming. Let's see. Have you ever gone over your mic setup? I'd be interested, says Calv. My mic setup is super basic, super cheap. I have an AKG Groove Pack. It's so old they don't even make it anymore. It was one of these packages. It was just like 2 overheads, 3 toms, and a kick. That's what I have here. I mean, I want to upgrade. It's time to upgrade the mics, you guys. I'm doing some research on that now. And I have a generic like condenser mic on my hi-hat. It's another AKG, and then I have an SM57 on my snare right here, and then this is the hi-hat mic. You can kind of see it back here. This guy right here. Yeah, and so like I said, you know, 1 overhead and 1 room mic, and we got to upgrade. We got to upgrade the setup here. It's time to get the mic setup to the next level. I've kind of decided. Wondering what exercise you play to keep in shape when on a pad away from the kit. You know, I did a whole thing on that recently, on a stream recently. I'd rather talk about playing in 7, to be honest. So let's do that. Someone asked about playing in 7. I think it was the same person. JB, was it you? Oh, no, it was JM. We have a JM and a JB. JM asked about playing in 7. You know, for playing in 7, like I remember when I was at music school and I wanted to get comfortable in 7, I programmed a drum machine because my concern, and I may have over attacked this actually, but what I did was I programmed a drum machine to have a really loud count of 1. I put all kinds of stuff on 1 in the drum machine. I put like bass drums, claps, cymbals, cowbell. Like it was like, and then I, you know, just a click for the rest of the beats, but it was like doosh, ding, 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 7, doosh, ding, you know, because I really wanted to just hammer that sense of 1 in my head. And it worked. I just, you know, when I was practicing in 7, you know, just like, you know, anything else that you're not comfortable with, I kind of approach it like swimming, you know, in a pool that has like a shallow and a deep end, you know. You just start in the shallow end and you just take a step and make sure you're okay, and take a step and make sure you're okay, and you get to that deep end and things start getting a little whoa, and you shouldn't step unless you're really feeling comfortable where you are, and you're not gonna, you know, drown, to finish off the analogy. And it's interesting because playing a slow 7 versus a fast 7 and stuff, it's pretty different, but it's just that, you know, that 7 has just such a unique feel because the 1, if you're not used to it, I mean, just that 8th note early thing is so, it's kind of unexpected if you're not used to it, but there's room to, it's not like, oh, it's time to play in 7, let me play only my 7 stuff that I never play anywhere else. Like, that's not the case. Like, you play the same stuff in 7 that you play in 4. I do anyway. It's just that I play it within 7 8th notes per bar instead of 4, you know, instead of 8 8th notes per bar, which is what 4/4 is, right? 4/4 8/8. Just take 1 8th note off and you're in 7/8, right? And so that's what I did. I programmed a click and I just played very basic at first. I just played a very basic groove. I did a lot of mental practicing, did a lot of singing to myself, which I do in all aspects of drumming. But for 7, you know, you want to be able to just internalize on the spot, just do right? There's me improvising in 7 while snapping my fingers 7 beats per bar, right? And so the point of that is like it's got to happen here before it happens here, and that goes for any aspect of drumming, but particularly this, right? It's got to happen internally because like hitting the thing is the last step in the process. I think that's worth mentioning. Hitting the thing is the last step in the process. You know, before you hit the thing, you got to know that you want to hit the thing, which means you already have an idea, and so you got to get the ideas, right? And so, you know, if you're starting in 7, just take a basic rock groove or a basic backbeat groove that you like and come up with the 7 version of it, you know? You know what we did is a long time ago, and there's a video of this on YouTube, actually, maybe I'll find it. When I was playing with this trio, and the guitar player and I, Jeff Miley, great guitar player, and I, you know, we were comfortable playing in 7. The bass player wanted to kind of practice it, right? And so we were playing like a blues or a basic groove thing, like in 7. And then I was like, hey, let's try like an existing tune and put it in 7. And so we played The Chicken in 7. Those of you that know The Chicken, it's a tune made famous by Jaco Pastorius, the big band. He didn't write it, but that's the version that's still my favorite version. Jaco Pastorius, word of mouth big band. What's the name of the live recording? It's the first track. Oh my God. Sorry, I think it's the name of a Coltrane tune. Anyways, they do The Chicken on there, and it's a funky thing in 4. The Chicken. It's a funky tune in 4, but we play it in 7, right? And it's a super basic. The bass line in 4 is like do 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 do. And so I was like, hey, let's play it in 7. So what does that bass line sound like in 7? And that really helped the bass player at the time because he already knew how to play the chicken, and so kind of translating that music to 7 was kind of was fun. And so let me play a little bit in 7. I'll just play very basic. I'll play some grooves and then some very basic fills. But like you take a basic rock fill, dat doom stagga doom bands, but that's boom boom that's but that's do stagga doom bang. Like what's the 7 version of that? You know, you got to ask yourself. Dat doom staggo bang, dat doons but that burns but that zat doom stuggo bang, bang. You know, so you got to internalize what that feels like. Get some good musical examples. There's plenty of songs in 7. Sting has a couple of songs on 10 Summoners Tales that are in 7. One is called St. Augustine in Hell. It's a slow thing in 7 where Vinny plays the quarter note throughout, which is interesting because, as a lot of folks know, if you play the quarter note contains 2 eighth notes. And so if you play that in 7, it starts on the downbeat. And then the next bar in 7, it's on the upbeat because it's an odd number of beats in the tune, right? So if you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 1, 3, 5, 7, 2, 4, 6, 1, right? And so it's every other one. And so writing that out helped me understanding that. Matthias is mentioning Island Magic by Dave Weckl. That kind of helped me to understand 7. That's the Island Magic is an old fusion tune that Weckl did with Jay Oliver. And that's a fast thing. That's like da da chickadoos, but that's da da chickadoos, but da 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Zessadaspa, right? Great tune. Great example of playing at 7. On that Sting record, there's another song called Love is Stronger Than Justice that goes back and forth between 7, 8, and 4, 4, actually. And these are super simple tunes. Great musical examples. I'm sure there's other stuff that I'm forgetting. On my channel, there's an old video of me playing the chicken in 7 with Altered. If you go to my channel and look under, I don't know where it is. It's in my video somewhere. But enough talking. Let's play in 7. Five, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so not perfect. There's some screw ups in there, but just trying to demonstrate, like playing in 7. You know, we started simple, then we went fast, and then I went back to simple, hoping that folks were trying to, you know, kind of count along to it, you know. And really, what a lot of that stuff is just what I was doing at the beginning. You know, it's just the ideas. You know, and towards the end there, I'm like, okay, let's try, you know, quarter note or the eighth note rather on the bass drum, you know, like a Stuart Copeland thing, you know, like dudes guts, 1, dudes guts, and then a little double time each, and then some opening the hi-hat, getting creative with that, you know, with like some triplety kind of stuff, whatever. So again, like taking your existing stuff and making it work in 7, really. But again, like, I mean, real quick, that's not to say that there's no ideas that don't work specifically in 7. Like, yeah, there's one thing in particular that works well in 7 only, and that's just, you know, playing 16th notes and you know, grouping them into 7, and then it's not going to go over the bar line, you know, because you're in 7/8. Which means there are 14 16th notes, which means you can group them up into 2 groups of 7 16th notes, and it'll fit every bar, right? And so the classic way to group any subdivision into an odd number is the Ralph Humphrey way, as taught in Even in the Odds, which is a great book for this kind of thing, where he does 2 2 3. You know, if you're in 5, he'll do like 2 3 or 3 2. But if you're in 7, he'll do like 2 2 3 or 2 3 2, like whatever combination, right? And that sounds a particular way. So if you take 16 notes and you do 1 2 1 2 1 2 3, and you accent the first note of each one of those groupings, it starts to sound like a phrase, right? So that, I mean, that basically sounds like 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Chaka, there's a phrase that's unique to 7, right? So you can actually have fun with those accents and play a bunch of phrases on the kit or as a groove and just use those accents, but just play them in different ways, like this. Let's try to do that. All right, so there's a concept that's unique to 7 as opposed to just, oh, play your 4/4 stuff, right? Like there's a 7 specific thing. And it's a basic concept, and a lot of guys are familiar with it. Oh, yeah, breaking things up into 2 and 3. Yeah, I know how to do that. Have you gotten everything you can get out of it, is the question. A lot of folks they do like what I call the checklist style. It's like, oh, jazz independence? Yeah, I can do that. Check. Man, it's a lifetime journey to continue to get that stuff good. And if you stop working on stuff because you think you got it, you're doing yourself a disservice. How's that? Because there's always more to do. There's always better ways to get it in your playing, you know. Always room for improvement. So yeah, that's talking about playing in 7. All right, for those that are interested. All right. Let's see, JM, that was for you, I think, right? It was JM. Let's see, what else are folks saying? Let's read some more comments. We went over the mic setup. Someone says, show a gospel rhythm. I don't know anything about gospel rhythms. I would not be a good person to show that. Let's see. Let me make sure my talking mic is on. Yes, all right. I have a bad habit of leaving microphones on and off, and then I talk, and you guys can't hear me, and so blah. Let's see. Nice Sledgehammer. Stefan Hammer 1 says, nice to hear you talking about drum machines. Do you think overall it can be good to supplement your learning with things like drum machines? Sure. I mean, I was actually hesitant to say drum machine earlier because it's almost a dated thing with, you know, cell phone apps and metronome apps and whatever. I mean, the point that I was trying to make was like I had a really heavy emphasis on one. Like I hammered one into my head when playing in 7, maybe almost too much. I don't know, but that's what I did. And so whether it's a drum machine or it's a metronome app or whatever, or not, you know, like probably better to just get a loop, like program a loop in 7 and play with some music instead of just doing drum stuff. Let's see. Bailey says, do you have any endorsements? How important are they to a professional career? I do have some endorsements. I have an endorsement with Zildjian and Yamaha drums, actually, that I'm very proud of. I mean, who knows how long that'll continue. I'm just a guy in my drum room at this point, blasting out to the internet. But I really love these like Zildjian and Yamaha. I love their stuff. And people seem to think that my drums sound good. And so I think it's working out. How important is it? I mean, it depends on, you know, how getting a discount on gear is obviously helpful financially. It adds legitimacy, obviously, if you're endorsed. But I don't know how important that is or isn't. I mean, a great player is a great player if you're in a great band and you're in a great band, and that's kind of the end of it. I mean, at that point, if it's easier to get gear, then that's a convenience. I don't know how important it is. It's a personal thing, you know. Do you want to be the person that is an ambassador or evangelizes like particular products? You know, I mean, I think you really got to believe in this stuff. Guys switch companies all the time, you know. It depends on, you know, what their agenda is. You know, a lot of folks switch and, you know, they switch from one company where they're not making any money to another company where they are making money. And if that's their goal and they did it, then, you know, congratulations. You know, it depends. But things are different now, you know, than they were before, obviously with the internet and everything. But folks still get endorsed, and it helps to know people. It helps to get introduced. That was a big help to me. Peter Erskine was instrumental in helping me with Yamaha, although he's not with them anymore. Very grateful to Peter and his help over the years, and his amazing drumming, obviously. I love the veterans, man, that have been doing it for decades and decades. And Erskine is just one of those guys. I mean, again, he was on that Jocko Word of Mouth Big Band recording I mentioned. And just real quick, like when you go back and listen to that Chicken, man, he is shuffling that. You know, and no one shuffles it. You know, a lot of people, I don't shuffle. Like we play it, I don't shuffle it. I just play it straight, you know. And he's kind of shuffling it a little bit, at least a little bit on there. And it's fast. It's fast. He's working that right hand, man. It sounds great. You know, it's crazy. But yeah, I guess that's what I got on endorsements. I'd love to get an endorsement with Vader. I almost had one. I was going back and forth with Chad, their guy. I love their sticks, and I mean, I'm not touring stadiums or anything, and so, you know, I don't get email responses real quick because I'm not like touring with you know, insert big name band here. But that makes sense. I mean, if you're a company and you manufacture products and you choose to endorse artists, you want to get your products in the hands of artists that will have the biggest exposure. So of course that makes sense. Doesn't matter how good you are. You know, I don't want the guy who, if I'm a drumstick company, I don't want the kid who is in his basement who is amazing, but no one sees him. I want the guy who's touring stadiums, you know, so they can put the logo of my company in your tour program and you can throw your sticks in the audience so people be like, dude, this guy uses the Steve Holmes sticks. I'm going to get me a pair of them. You know, you got to think about it from a business standpoint. You know, some people get jaded and bitter about that stuff and, oh, I deserve endorsements and I want to blah, blah, blah. And they get all angry and bitter, and that's not good. You got to think of it from all points of view. All right. So that's my take on that. Tell them your fans want to hear their microphones on the drums. Yeah, I will. I mean, we'll see. I'm thinking about going with Audix for my overheads. They've got a couple of really nice ones. Just overheads, though. There's no need for me to replace. I mean, if a microphone company wants to send me a replacements for everything, that's fine. But there's no need for me to like spend all this money and replace these mics. They work fine. I just want to remedy my overhead and room mic situation. So I want a couple of new overheads and use my existing mics for the room mics. That's what I want to do. Let's see. Sledgehammer says, I've found that sometimes I can end up in an unexpected place much quicker than writing drum notation in a DAW, digital audio workshop, as there is less chance for muscle memory. Oh, yes, I see what you're saying. Like working out stuff, like writing it out versus playing it. Sure, that'll work if you're working out like something like 7 and playing a basic thing in 7, you know. Let's see, Romulos was like, finally play something. Yes, okay, Romulus. Good Lord, I played, okay. Let's see, Tom Sawyer, Dem Bones. Yes, all tunes in 7, although Tom Sawyer is a really exotic song. I mean, it's in 7, but it's in like a magic 7 that doesn't sound like 7 because that song is magic, I think. Keeping your quarter note accent resulting in the alternating every bar is always interesting. Agreed. Similar ideas to the 7 days. Oh, yes, I should have mentioned 7 days, although that's in 5 and not in 7. Let's see, this is awesome. Thanks for the song. An artist to play in 7 will help. JM, I expect you to practice in 7 and get better now, okay? I expect it. All right, I want to see a video of you playing in 7 in 2 weeks. All right? That's the thing. You got to be able to mouth what you play. It's true. Oh, you guys, Alexander Marenko. Alexander, I just noticed your name. You've probably been here for a while. Alexander Marenko, my current new favorite drummer. You guys, Alexander Marenko is a master. He is an amazing, beautiful drummer. Check him out. Go to YouTube. Go to wherever you want to go. I don't think he's on Instagram. Alexander, you need to get on Instagram and TikTok and do what you need to TikTok with the kids. Whatever. Us graybeards aren't on TikTok. Alexander Marenko, seriously, like your videos, your drum sound, everything is amazing. Everyone go check out Alexander Marenko. All right, big hugs. My brother in Ukraine. Yes, we talked about the paradiddle thing in 7 at the end there. That was kind of cool. Let's see. Dave says, do you like Tegan Hansman? I knew you said quintuple thing came out. Taking the ram with it. I'm not familiar with this person, so I can't say. Sorry. I've never encountered a lesson with 30-second cross stick technique. How do you play those very fast singles and doubles with the cross stick? I don't really. The cross stick isn't playing like doubles are really fast. It's like you're just playing doubles with your right hand or triples with your right hand on the hi-hat, which makes it sound really fast. But my cross stick isn't really doing doubles, and if it was, it would just be doing it the same way. You just got to power them out because there's no rebound really. But I'm not playing like doubles, you know, with that. But like, you know, the old trick of like, you know, the single cross stick and double on the hi-hat. You know. You know, where you can play 3 on the hi-hat and the quarter note on the cross stick, and it sounds like you're playing 16ths really fast, but you're not because you're not playing the downbeat. You do like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I saw Vinny do that on a live video with Sting, you know, where he was, it was that Love is Stronger Than Justice, you know, where he's like, you know. So those are just 3 notes. I'm not playing 4. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can get a fast triple going, then, you know, that sounds cool. Sorry, more text respondings. It's Saturday here at the Holmes house, so, you know, things are happening. Things are happening. Let's see what else we got. What else are you guys saying? Are you saying interesting things? Come on. Help me out here. Say interesting things. Yamaha is the bomb. One Yamaha is worth 10 of any other company. I love Yamaha drums. Adam Wilson, what's up? Welcome back, Adam. Adam says, hey, Steve, what's up, Adam? Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. Man, we've been doing this so long now, over and over, that the regulars are back. Normalized audio, Adam Wilson. Alexander Marenko. Let's see, my flute teacher got Yamaha, and she got their gold flute. Interesting. Adam Wilson says, Yamaha and Zildjian are garbage. Get out. Get out, Adam Wilson. I'm just kidding. Let's see, Steve Gardner says, hey, Steve, watching from our hotel balcony in Kauai. Question, I've never mixed mic'd my drums, and I'm thinking of doing it. Could you give a quick rundown of what you use? Man, on the balcony in Kauai. Interesting. Sounds beautiful. Sure. Just for funsies. Really quick rundown of the setup. I talked about my microphones already. All right. Every drum is mic'd. I've got one overhead. I've got a room mic. All that is going into this old Sapphire Pro 40 recording unit. All the mics are going into this. Okay. This is going optical out into this Apollo Twin X. All right. It's called an ADAT connection. All right. The Apollo Twin X is processing all of the DSP in almost real time, digital signal processing, all the EQ, all the compression, all the reverb. It's all getting processed on this thing. All right. This is going Thunderbolt to my laptop that I'm talking to you right now. The laptop is using software called Console, which comes with the Apollo stuff. Can I screen share? I can screen share. Laptop cam. Can we do this on top? Oh, yeah. Is that me? No, sorry. Screen. Oh, it's not working. All right. It is working a little bit. Anyway, this is the stream, and then that's the stream, and whatever. This is the console software right here. Right. So these are all my tracks down here. I've got, you know, different plugins on here. Like here's the EQ for the kick, etc. Each drum has its own EQ and compression using these plugins. You can get whatever plugins you want. Some of them are free. Some of them cost money. All these mics are going to this one master auxiliary 1 channel that's getting beefed up and EQ'd with this mastering plugin, and then a little bit of reverb on everything. And then this is getting sent out. This is like an input-output matrix. This sets, hey, these inputs go to these outputs, and it's pretty cool. And that's all going out to this program that you see here called OBS. So this is called the Hall of Mirrors effect because it's the stream within the stream. It's like Inception. Dun! Anyways, that's the setup. All right. The real-time kind of processing is happening via the Apollo hardware, which I'm pleased with. And I think I can get it sounding a lot better, actually. We need to get an engineer in here to help me. So that's the setup. All right. Hope that helps. It's not cheap, this stuff, but you know, I love it. I love geeking out and having fun with this stuff. So that's the setup. So enjoy in Hawaii, Steve. Hope you're having fun. I can hear the stereo-ness of the mic placement. Yeah, I've got some stuff panned a little bit. The toms and the hi-hat are panned left and right a little bit. But that's another reason why I want to get 2 overheads, so I can get like the stereo signal from the cymbals. Man, really kind of jonesing to do that these days. Let's see. Oh, yes. I think I confused that with 3 hi-hats and 1 cross stick then. Thanks for clarifying. You're welcome. How do you feel about rim shots? I love rim shots. I do rim shots all the time. Almost too much. I depend on rim shots too much, actually. Let's see. Thanks for the inspiration from the Dominican Republic. You're welcome. Thanks for hanging out, says Lax Traction LLC. Lax Traction is a limited liability company, apparently, you guys. Let's see. Restream is telling me I've received 100 messages today. Yay! Yay, we're doing it. Okay, Adam Wilson is like, yay, I'm a regular. Get out, Adam. What are you still doing here? Just kidding. Let's see. It's a privilege to hang with you and learn from you, good sir, Steve Holmes. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it. It's fun. I love doing this. This is like therapeutic for me to be able to just get this stuff out. You know, the part of my brain, the music part of my brain needs to like get it out. And so I'm getting it out both here and here. So this is helpful for me. Let's see. Can you talk about abdominal strength, allowing the hips to stay loose, and specifically and generally, if you ever concentrate on this type of coordination of the whole body while playing drums? I don't focus on strength. I should, actually. The older I get, I should exercise more and try to get my just strength and endurance up. But I am big on balance, and I've talked about that a lot, but we can talk about it again just really quick. I'm big on having a good like center, like the weight of my body is on my butt. It's on my tailbone. It's not lean to the left. It's not lean to the right. It's important to me to be sitting and be able to drum with all four limbs. You can't see my legs because I'm wearing black sweatpants, but I want to be able to drum with my bass drum, my hi-hat, and both hands at the same time and feel comfortable. And the only way to do that is get that center balance, get that weight in the center, and boom, get it happening like that. Yeah, so that's what I got. That's what I got for that. I think we should wrap it up here pretty quickly. Steve says, thanks, you're welcome. Wish you could post pictures in the comments. You could take a picture with your phone and show us your cool balcony view. Let's see, there's no latency earlier either totally. Well, you know, there's a little bit, Shannon or Shaman Z10. You know, it's interesting. I did a video on my channel recently. It's a shame I can't like screen share with the, well, whatever. I did a video on my channel about ride cymbal and hi-hat combo grooves. It was not a stream. It was a properly edited video like I used to do. And I recorded all that footage using the Apollo stuff, including my voice. And when you watch that video back, there is a little bit of latency that was pointed out to me, and I didn't realize it. I spent all day editing that video, and I didn't even notice. And so it's barely noticeable, but all the footage in that ride hi-hat video, like if you watch that, you can notice there's just a hair. For the drumming, it's not so noticeable, really, because your hands are moving so fast and the delay is just negligible. But for talking, it's a little bit noticeable. And I'm not using that now, so you're not going to notice it now, because the talking that you hear right now is from the microphone on my laptop, actually. It's not being processed at all. And so that's why it's like no latency, 1-to-1. But I have a lavalier mic, a clip-on mic, that I used for that ride hi-hat combo video, and that was going through the Apollo stuff, and there was a little compression on there and blah, 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 and just a tiny bit of latency, but I think it's acceptable for our purposes here. Let's see, have you ever seen Kevin Paradis play paradiddles? No, I haven't. I'm not familiar with that person. Sorry. Let's see, do you ever wish you'd only focused on drums instead of your game design gig? I'm soon to be a computer science major, and I'm obsessed with drums to the point where I don't enjoy CS at all. Man, I mean, it's case by case. And those of you that don't know, my career is in the video game industry. I'm a video game designer at Infinity Ward. Okay, we make Call of Duty Modern Warfare games currently. And I'm a designer on the campaign stuff. You know, I do that for a living, and I love my job. And do I ever regret? No. The video game industry saved me because I was not as good at getting work as I was at drumming. Getting work and the business side of music is its own skill, and I was not as good at that as I just want to drum and get good drumming. And still, like, you could still see that in me. Like, I just want to play, you know what I mean? Like getting gigs, paying the bills, like that's got nothing to do with I mean, it has obviously some to do with how good you can play, but maintaining that trajectory and getting it consistently, it's feast or famine. You know, a lot of guys I know, and over the years, as I've observed here in Los Angeles since 1993, I mean, I've been out of the game in terms of like really trying to get work for a long time. But I've, you know, I'm I'm spectating just as much as participating in my own way, and it's still very challenging. And I mean, what Steve Lukather was getting interviewed the other day, complaining about his medical insurance from the union. Like it's nuts. It's nuts. And I have no complaints about my insurance. Thank you, video game industry. And so I don't regret that at all. I love my job. I've been in the video game industry for over 20 years. And I just walked in the door and filled an application to test video games. And now I'm a designer on Call of Duty. And I really gelled well with that industry. I learned a lot of lessons, man. Did a lot of growing up, working with a lot of really smart people. And I realized that was an opportunity. And I just stuck with it just to grow and get better and make a living and not have to worry about paying the bills, but I'm just speaking for myself. There's people out there that are playing music, that are making a living, and they're doing it. And that's it, period, the end. They're doing it, and that's beautiful, and every person is different. But do I regret it? No, absolutely not. I would regret it if I didn't. And so that's the reason why I continued with it, is because I knew I would regret it if I didn't. I saw opportunities there, and I knew, luckily, I recognized beforehand. I was like, if I don't do this, I'm going to regret it. Which is a thing, because, man, recognizing opportunity before it's too late, it's a thing, because it's not obvious. No one's going to wave a green flag and be like, hey, this is your opportunity to do this important thing. It may not be obvious. Like, just generally speaking, I've found, like, in life, not to get, like, too corny or whatever, it may not be obvious. And so recognizing it and being like, whoa, is this one of those things that could lead to something else greater? And if I don't do it, am I going to regret it? And what else could be, what else could happen as a result of this thing if I do the work required? And growing up, music and video games, and relationships, like those are the three food groups for me. And so, yeah. I don't even have a CS degree because I'm not an engineer. I'm not a programmer. I'm a designer. And I do write code. We use a proprietary scripting language to make the things happen in the game. And so I write a lot of code in that regard, but I'm not a real engineer. I don't write in, like C++ or anything like that. I could if I had to, but Romulus is like gospel, please. That's funny. Be thankful you're not an accounting major, says Normalized Audio. Hey, man, whatever. If you're paying the bills, if you're doing the thing, you're doing it. Get that CS degree. CS degrees are very valuable. I mean, although with, the rise of AI writing code for us. Let's see. Really enjoyed your video about playing fives over the 1 bar, 2 bar, and 4 bar phrases. Try starting the grouping on the point where the phrase will resolve at the end of the measure rather than cropping off. Oh, I see. Yes, so you displace where you start the phrase so that it ends right on 1. That's interesting. Talking about one of my old videos on my channel where we play groups of 5, 16 notes. That's interesting. Thank you. Thank you, Dave. Let's see. Thanks for the insight. I'm currently not in your dilemma, and your thoughts really mean a lot to me. Yeah, you're welcome. The guy Rob Brown's Get All the Gospel Gig. Rob Brown, yeah, he's got a lot of followers on YouTube, man. He's got a cool channel. Adam Wilson says AI is getting scarier every day. Yeah, it's not a good time to be a commercial artist or a web programmer, or maybe it is. I don't know. Anyway, how about we play a little bit more? I feel like people are like, oh, enough talking, and let's do a little more playing. And I'm just gonna play the same stuff I always play. I'll just play a little bit, and then we're gonna call it. Okay. Thanks for hanging out. My name's Steve Holmes. Let's play a little more drum. All right, that's enough notes for today. What do you think? I felt pressure towards the end there from that. That guy was like, come on, play! So I played. And that stack, man, took a beating. That stack took a beating. Got a little sloppy there. A lot of that stuff is not on the grid. I was just like phrases and a theme and a phrase and a theme and whatever. Try to play the stuff that's in my head. So save the questions for the next stream. All right, let's talk about it. And if you want, like, you can go back and pick like a timestamp in this video, like in this drum solo, and be like, oh, 1 hour 11 minutes. What are you doing there? We can go back and we can talk about it. And then the next stream, that might be fun. So if folks have questions about any of that stuff, any of that messy craziness, all right. But we're gonna call it now because I need to get on with my day and go take a walk with my wife. All right, so thanks for hanging out. You guys, my name is Steve Holmes. We'll do this again. Please support the channel, subscribe to the channel, click that super, make a little donation towards the overhead mic fund. Thanks for hanging out, folks. We'll see you next time. My name's Steve.